Alright friends, what is up? How's it going? I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe. It has definitely been a while since I filmed a what I eat in a day kind of video. When we first moved into this apartment, I was super excited to film those because they're just my favorite kind of videos to watch and make. And in this apartment we have these gorgeous windows that give off such a nice amount of natural light, but unfortunately the light does not last for a very long time in the day, so it's just like not a lot to work with. And on top of that, we have no natural lighting in our kitchen at all, and the lights in there are this kind of ugly yellow color that I really hate. So yeah, I just haven't filmed a video in a while. Even if I don't maybe have the perfect conditions to film in, I kind of just have to get over myself because at the end of the day, no one really cares. I filmed this video on New Year's Day. It is now January 29th. So it took me a full month to actually sit down and decide to cut down this video. This is only a weekend of eating. I did not have the energy in me to film a full week of eating yet, but maybe we'll make baby steps back to that kind of video again. At the end of last year and the start of this year, I was eating pretty much the same thing for breakfast for a full week straight. I had made a super large batch of sourdough bagels. I pickled some red onions. I made some roasted red peppers because I had this idea in my head of this perfect open-faced breakfast sandwich, and when I did make it, it was so good that I was super down to just continue eating it. First thing I did was grab some scallions from my little windowsill garden, aka the jar that I'm regrowing them in, and I mixed that with some vegan cream cheese from Trader Joe's and spread that all over a bagel. I think it was a poppy seed bagel. I made like poppy seed, sesame seed, everything bagels. I was just kind of picking them at random at that point. I topped that with some homemade roasted peppers, pickled red onion, capers, fresh dill, and finally some balsamic glaze. If I could start every single day eating this sandwich, I would. Obviously, you don't have to make every single thing from scratch, but I will say, maybe this is just me being pretentious, I did recreate the sandwich with all store-bought ingredients, and it was good, but the homemade version was better. It just was. After breakfast, I had some tea. I've been obsessed with Harney & Sons Paris tea. I've been drinking it pretty much every day. Have it with a little bit of hemp milk and some honey. It is so good. I wasn't super hungry for lunch that day. I don't think I did much beyond just sit around on my couch, so it checks out. But I wound up having a bowl of yogurt with some peaches from Trader Joe's, some hemp seeds, and some crushed Brazil nuts. I think Brazil nuts are my favorite nuts. The texture on them are so good, but they also kind of scare me a little bit because like if you eat too many, you can die. It's like a crazy high number of nuts that you would have to eat to actually, like poison yourself, but they are so good that I truly can see myself accidentally eating too many of them. So I really have to like take 2 out of the bag before I eat them so I don't just like mindlessly munch out of it. For dinner that night, we air fried some tofu and then kind of just made up a recipe. We started off with some garlic and ginger in a pan with some oil, quickly steamed some broccolini before throwing it in with the ginger and garlic. Side note, broccolini is so much better than broccoli. I don't think they're even related, but broccolini is the superior of the two. Then we poured over some kind of mixture of probably soy sauce, maple syrup, rice vinegar, sesame oil, cornstarch. I don't think we measured anything. We just kind of mixed some stuff together until it tasted good and let that come to heat in a pan until it thickened. We had that over some rice. If you don't know what to eat, tofu plus veggie plus rice is just like the easiest vegan meal. The next morning, I did not film the process of recreating that breakfast sandwich because it was the exact same thing as the day before, except that I also used this other cheese in addition because I didn't have enough cream cheese to cover the entire bagel. It was definitely good. I would say I prefer the cream cheese on its own, but that dip is really good. I put it on a charcuterie board a couple times with friends and they all seem to like it. It's really good if you dip it with some carrots, and I found it at Trader Joe's, which is nice. A little while after breakfast, I made a pretty small for me portion of raviolis that I had split with Bailey. I had made the raviolis a week before, and honestly I just kind of wanted to taste test them, and I was so impressed with myself. I have like pictures of them on my Instagram, my food Instagram, that you can look at. They were so good. The raviolis themselves were made with spinach, which is how they were green, and I filled them with a lemon cashew ricotta. I made them with a vegan brown butter sage sauce, and honestly I was just like so impressed with myself. I topped them with some lemon zest and vegan parm, and yeah, it was a great little snack, Would have ate that as a full meal if I didn't have other things planned for that day. Later on in the day, I made this 3-bean salad from New York Times Cooking, which I will link below. I wanted something that I can easily meal prep for the week and that wouldn't get gross sitting in the fridge, because I find it really hard to meal prep food without it getting like a weird texture. And I don't like things that I have to reheat in the microwave because, I don't know, it just really grosses me out. This was super easy, super good, but I will say if I were to recreate this, I would chop everything way smaller than they recommended because it was kind of hard to eat. You couldn't get a single bite with every ingredient on the fork, you know? For dinner that night, I had a bowl of couscous, avocado with sesame seeds, spinach sauteed with garlic, and pan-fried tempeh. I was just kind of using up whatever I had in my fridge, and this is like a pretty common meal for me. Usually I like this a lot, but for some reason I did not like this dinner at all. I think I wound up putting a little bit too much sour cream on it, and then I added both hot sauces. And I don't know, the texture just kind of got a little goopy and weird, and I like was so put off by it, but I did eat it. And then for dessert that night, I had to make up for my weird dinner that I did not like. I had some ice cream. I don't remember the exact flavors. I know that one was vanilla, and I think one might have been a Ben & Jerry's vegan one. I think it might have been like the Save the World or something one. And I always add chocolate chips and pretzels to my ice cream because I need there to be like a crunch, but I also need it to be a little bit salty because sweet and salty, perfect match. So that was everything I ate in the first weekend of this year. I hope I can carve out more time for YouTube this year, but honestly, every time I say like, see you guys soon, it kind of feels like a curse. So maybe see you soon, but no promises. Thank you guys so much for watching, as always. Bye.